The Lanterns in the Fog, The Shapes We Gave the Dark. This is a story about three Angelteers who enter a mountain village where evening fog turns ordinary shapes into frightening possibilities. Their seventh miracle-minded adventure begins when they discover that fear can feel convincing without becoming true, and that a quiet mind can look again. The three Angelteers reached Misty Hollow just as the sun disappeared behind the mountain. A bell rang from the village gate. "Inside!" shouted a guard. "Fog is coming!" Spider Monkey looked over his shoulder. White mist rolled between the pine trees. "How dangerous is fog?" The guard whispered. "You never know what is hiding in it." Shopkeepers locked doors. Parents pulled children indoors. Lanterns appeared in every window. Howler Monkey pointed toward a huge shadow moving across the road. "There!" everyone screamed. Spider raised his sword. The shadow grew taller, wider, closer. Then a goat walked through the fog. Its enormous shadow vanished. Howler lowered his sword. "I had concerns." Squirrel Monkey looked toward the villagers. "What were you afraid of?" "A monster," said one. "Bandits," said another. "A giant wolf," whispered a child. Spider pointed at the goat. "And what was actually there?" "A goat." The mayor hurried over. "That proves nothing. There may still be something terrible farther up the road." A moaning sound drifted through the fog. "Oh." Doors slammed. Squirrel's stomach tightened. His mind supplied pictures faster than the fog could hide them. A beast, a warning, something coming. Then he noticed the scent of pine needles dampened by the mist. He breathed. "What am I feeling?" "Fear," he said quietly. Spider glanced at him. "Of what?" Squirrel listened again. "I don't actually know." Howler's eyebrows lifted. "That is not how fear usually introduces itself." Squirrel smiled. "No, it usually arrives carrying an explanation." The moan came again. "Oh!" Squirrel asked inwardly, "What is this for?" No answer told him whether the sound was safe, but another question became clear. "Am I willing to see what is here before I decide what it means?" Spider lowered his sword. "I'll walk with you." Howler swallowed. "So will I." The three entered the fog. Every few steps, something appeared. A crouching figure became a tree stump. Glowing eyes became dew-reflecting lantern light. A long arm across the trail became a crooked branch. Howler shook his head. "This fog has excellent dramatic instincts." Then the moan sounded directly ahead. "Oh!" Spider stopped. Squirrel felt fear again. He did not argue with it. He did not tell himself he should not be afraid. He simply noticed. Fear was present, and fear was interpreting. They walked another 10 steps. A wooden weather vane spun above an abandoned shed. Each turn forced wind through a cracked pipe. "Ah!" Spider stared at it. "So the terrifying mountain spirit needs plumbing repair." Howler laughed, and birds flew from a tree. The Angelteers returned to the village. The mayor frowned. "We frightened ourselves." Squirrel shook his head gently. "You experienced fear. That was real as an experience." He pointed toward the fog. But the meaning fear gave everything was not automatically true. The child who had imagined the wolf stepped outside. "What if there really is danger someday?" Spider crouched beside her. "Then seeing clearly would still help more than frightening ourselves with things that aren't there." Howler nodded. "Fear does not become wisdom just because it shouts." The mayor slowly unlocked the gate. No one marched bravely into the fog. No one needed to prove anything. Instead, they practiced looking again. A shadow. A sound. Listen. A frightened thought. Notice. What am I feeling? What am I making this mean? What is actually here? Some villagers stayed indoors. Some walked to the well. Others carried lanterns to repair the cracked pipe. Nobody announced that fear had been defeated forever. Fear came and went, but now it was no longer automatically given the final word. Later, the fog began to lift. Moonlight revealed the road that had been there all along. Squirrel watched it appear. The road did not become safe when the fog disappeared. Howler nodded. "We simply stopped using the fog to invent the road." They stood quietly beneath the moon. No special instruction came. There was only the next clear step, so they took it. Miracle-minded remembrance. Fear is an interpretation, not the truth. May we sing, rest, and dance our way home together.